So what happened when I first went plant-based? I started exploring with plant-based nutrition in about 2003 when I started coming across information about the acid and alkaline diet. This was courtesy of a CD that was gifted me by Tony Robbins, and he was talking about the research of Dr. Robert Young and the impact that eating plant-based foods and green foods and alkaline foods can have on your bloodstream and your health versus eating more acidic foods and heavy foods such as animal products and dairy and excessive cooked foods. As I started exploring with this, I started to notice changes in my body, but it wasn't until about 2005, 2006, when my father was faced with severe chronic fatigue syndrome, depression and anxiety, did we together as a family make a radical shift in our diet in order to help him improve his health and also for us as a family to support him on that journey. At that time, we went full plant-based, and it was an incredible experience for myself and my family as well, and that's set us up for a healthy lifestyle right through till today. Some of the biggest things that I noticed when I first went plant-based, the first thing was energy. My energy levels increased dramatically, primarily because I was transitioning from a heavy cooked food diet, a diet based on dairy and meat products and processed grains. Once I started eliminating those foods out of my diet and replacing them with whole plant-based foods, I liberated a lot of digestive energy. One of the things that I think most people don't realize is that the amount of energy your digestive system uses is disproportionate to the rest of the body. Your brain uses a lot of energy, your digestive system uses a lot of energy, but everything else is pretty meager in its energy consumption. So when you change your diet from something that puts a lot of load on your digestive system, that challenges your digestive system a lot, to something that's a lot cleaner and lighter and easier to digest, you actually liberate a lot of energy. And I'm sure you've all noticed after eating a big heavy lunch that the first thing you want to do is go lay down on the couch or have a little siesta. That is not true when you're eating a different type of diet, and that was the first thing that I noticed. The second thing I noticed when I went plant-based was that my mental clarity improved. This was something I wasn't expecting. I was more focusing on energy levels and preventing and reversing disease, especially with my dad. But my mental clarity improved a lot. I started to be able to focus for longer periods of time. I started to be able to focus even after eating a lunch or a meal, which was something that was not common for me. And I even started to notice that I could have focus late until the evening, which was not really common for me. I'm typically an early morning riser. So it seemed that I was unlocking all this extra reserves of concentration and energy that didn't exist before. And some might say this is a bit of a honeymoon effect, and that's true. I'll probably get to that a little bit at the end of this interview, but it was still great nonetheless, and it was a real effect that it had on me. The third thing I noticed is that it became a lot easier and cheaper when I went to the supermarket. All I had to do was shop around the perimeter of the supermarket, pick up fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, superfoods, herbs, and omit all the other processed foods, the meat, the dairy, the refined foods, the man-made foods. By doing that, I was able to instantaneously reduce the amount that my weekly shopping bill cost. And it also made me feel good when you get to the checkout. There's a little bit of righteousness that happens when you start to eat healthy. And I think the combination of saving money and feeling good about yourself when you're at the supermarket was something that was a real noticeable benefit that I felt. The fourth thing I noticed when I went plant-based was that I started to become a lot more aware and compassionate about the impact that my food choices were having on the food system. I started to learn more deeply about the consequences of factory farming animals and also the consequences of domesticating animals en masse, and really seeing that this was such a horrible system that really didn't respect the animals or human health for that matter. It was something that I didn't want to play a part in. And that was a huge benefit of going plant-based for that period of my life, was that it started to develop my awareness about how to eat more consciously, more ethically, and more compassionately. The fifth thing that happened when I went plant-based is I started to laugh at food-based advertising. When you start to eat only from Mother Earth, all the ads you see on TV for fake food make you laugh because you realize that this is food that you do not need. We've been taught to believe that we need so many people to make our food for us, to prepare these fast foods, these convenience foods. And when you really dive into plant-based nutrition, you start to realize that Mother Nature has done that work for us already. A banana comes wrapped, ready to go. An apple has a skin so that it preserves itself from oxidization. Nuts and seeds are stored for months and months at a time, and by soaking them, you can remove the enzyme inhibitor, unlock that nut's nutrition. Seeds even you can sprout and take a seed that has X nutritional value, sprout it and it goes X times 5. Additionally, you can ferment foods, which also improves the nutritional components of food. You take cabbage, humble cabbage, add some salt, add some water, massage together using a wild ferment from the bacteria from the environment or adding an inoculant, and you can create a sauerkraut or a fermented vegetable mix, and this even improves the nutritional quality to another level. We do not need other people making food for us or other companies or industries making food for us. Mother Nature has done the hard work and it's up to us to use that to our benefit. The last thing I noticed, number 6, when I went plant-based, was that my mood increased. Now I know I spoke about energy at the start and I know I spoke about mental clarity, but when I talk about mood, this is something different. I noticed that as I started to decrease the amount of processed grains in my diet, in particular wheat and breads, which is, I know, is still a plant-based food, but this is something that I eliminated when I first went plant-based. By eating more nuts and seeds, by eating more plant-based foods, more greens, more fresh fruits as well, I started to notice that my mood improved. And this changed the entire way that I approached my life. It changed the way that I approached my yoga mat. It changed the way that I approached meditation. It changed the way that I approached my family, my loved ones, the people around me, the people who I get to share this Food Matters mission with. And that can have such an incredible impact on your life. And I think that it's those intangible benefits of how food can lead to more conscious awareness, how food can lead to a better mood, and how food can change the way that you show up in the world, can really help you become the person that you're meant to be, help you uncover your soul's true purpose. And I know this might sound like a lofty idea, but food really has the power to change everything in our world. And I've heard David Wolfe say that food can impact architecture, food can impact art, food can impact literature, because of the way that the food can change the human form and because of the way that food can change your mood. And that was one of the most profound impacts it had on me. Whenever you change your diet or make a radical shift in how you eat, whether you're going from standard American diet to paleo, standard Australian diet, same acronym, to ketogenic, standard American diet, or even a vegan junk food diet to a raw food vegan, or going from a heavy meat or heavy dairy or just I don't really think about what I eat diet to just eating plants, generally what happens is you get a honeymoon effect. And also if you're going from however you eat to doing a cleanse or a juice cleanse or a water fast, you get this period of honeymoon effect. And this is when you have this enlightening period of like, this is it. This is for me. This is the only way that I'm gonna eat for the rest of my life. Cross my heart and hope to die. Amen. This is it. I've got it. I've sorted it out. And you become righteous and you go and tell everybody about it. Everyone has to eat like this. Stop. This is the honeymoon effect. It makes you feel good for a period of time. I've met so many people who went raw food vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or lacto-ovo that it worked for a period of time and then it stopped working. They started feeling sluggish again, maybe their hair started falling out, they started having hormonal issues, they started having gut issues. Then they get challenged with the idea of maybe I need to change again, and that's okay. You need to acknowledge that the honeymoon effect is real, but use it as a powerful way to support you on your journey to keep making decisions that improve your health, to keep experimenting with what works for you, to keep understanding more about how your genetic lineage might be affecting your bacteria and your gut and your health and how that might be beneficial for you to take into consideration when eating. For you to continue more on that path to finding what works best for you long term, but what works best for you in summer, what works best for you in winter, what works best for you in the spring of your life even, and what works best for you in the fall of your life. How to delve deep into those ideas is by experimentation and education, applying that to your life and taking a common sense approach to eating a natural diet. So if you're ready to step up and try eating plant-based for a period of time, regardless of what your diet looks like after that, taking a moment of time in your life to just eat plants, to just upgrade your nutrition, to clear out the old and start with the new can be one of the most powerful decisions you will ever make.